Episode 10. Merch. Madness.
Episode 10. Merch Madness.
What the F is up, babies?
Whoa!
We got a major milestone today.
Episode 10.
What a wonderful journey it's been, Matt.
Double digits, dude.
I do feel like we're better than we were for the first episode.
Hundo P.
Don't you think?
Hundo P, right? Don't you think, listener?
Don't you think?
Listener, do you agree?
And we, as you hopefully likely know,
right,
we are celebrating this milestone with an announcement.
Hit him.
Today we are launching the Dogs Podcast merchandise website. Woo!
Let's go.
We've got quite a few like hot ticket items.
Oh yeah.
We kind of did a soft launch with like friends and family and getting great feedback. Matt's got his dog's hat and shirt on.
Yep. I'm rocking two pieces
He's
right now.
got the dad hat or cap, I think it's called.
Yeah.
And then the logo tee.
Yep.
I'm a big fan of the Dogs After Dark sweatshirt.
That's a good one too.
Yeah, that's a good conversation starter.
We got the Big Dog of the Week mug too.
Big Dog of the Week mug. Yeah, we'll drop that today. We'll drop it.
Yeah.
I just haven't tested it yet, so I don't know if it's good.
Yeah.
And there is a t-shirt on there.
Yeah.
The Matt Praying in the Attic tee that, I mean, hopefully that's okay.
What's the really funny one that you wrote? Is that the Dogs After Dark sweatshirt?
Yeah.
Can I read it?
Yeah, read it.
So
yeah, this is the description.
Here's the description. You know the feeling. It's like 3 a.m. You're with the boys, fired up. You just figured out the solution to world peace. You kissed your best friend on the mouth. Taco Bell dangling from your chin. You maybe probably just texted an ex. Where are your shoes? No idea. It got a little wild, but it was a productive wild. And somehow it's perfect. That's Dogs After Dark. Effortlessly cool and ridiculously soft. This sweatshirt is built for late nights, questionable decisions, and the stories that make you laugh so hard you start crying about later. This one's for the boys. But it's also for the girls.
Yeah, it's for the dogs.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I was pretty proud of that description.
Some really good descriptions.
So this has been a labor of love for me for the past few weeks. So I really hope you guys enjoy it. Please consider making a purchase and supporting our podcast. We are now officially in the green.
We're in the green, baby.
By like $4.
And that's all we wanted.
On my wish list, like I think we should continue investing it into the podcast. So
oh yeah, for sure.
I think we need a new microphone for me.
Probably a whole new setup, honestly.
Maybe. But I think at the top of my list is like that beer fridge that I want.
I think that's more of a nice to have, dude. I think we should get some better software up in this ish.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like the sound is pretty decent.
It sounds pretty decent.
But definitely, we deal.
It's a little janky.
For those who don't know, which is everyone, every time we are about to start, it takes us about 15 minutes to get Katie's microphone right.
Yeah, because it's like buzzing. So yeah, if you consider supporting us, so, we can just keep delivering incredible content.
Yeah, this is the only thing getting us in the green right now is the merch. So. Yeah. We got a couple big orders in.
Couple big orders.
You know who you are. Shout out.
But yeah. It should be fun.
Yeah.
And you know what, Matt? I have some fun ideas for the future. Like, I'm thinking we can have like holiday specific items. So for tight. Mother's Day, I'm thinking like a cute pink cap with like flowers on it.
Yeah. Totally.
Like things like that.
Yeah. Katie's all over that. Katie's
I'm merch girl. I'm merch girl.
I'm research and development.
Yeah.
Technical guru. Which that's me.
That's me. That's you. Okay. So that's exciting. So, but we're in a fun time right now.
Yeah,
sports wise, right?
Yeah, I mean, baseball's in full swing, which is electric. Yeah. Basketball is getting close to the playoffs, which is fun. March Madness, we got Final Four today, so we will be making some predictions there. Things are rolling, dude. This is probably the happiest that I am in sports in general until playoff baseball. It's like March Madness. first baseball game's getting back into it.
It's exciting. It's refreshing, really.
And spring has sprung. It's not like exactly warm, but it's raining a lot, which stuff's getting green, which is nice.
Things get green. It kind of washes away like all the gross
winter depression.
Yeah. So we're feeling revitalized.
Better. I feel better.
I feel
less sad.
I feel better. Yeah, I do feel less sad.
Less depressed. So that's good. So this episode's going to be March Madness. We're calling it Merch Madness, obviously, because, I mean, how could we call it anything else? Kicking off the merch. We're going to tell you, we got 4 short stories, magical moments in honor of the Final Four this weekend. These stories aren't going to be about these teams that are left in particular, but just 4 cool stories from March Madness history, women's, men's, the whole shebang. We're going to talk about all that. Before we get to that, we're going to do a couple lifetime predictions from your 2 college basketball gurus, which is me and Katie, obviously. We know a lot about these teams.
That we do.
I don't think I can name a single player on either of these teams except for LeBron James' son, who redshirted, so he's not even playing. That's Bryce James on Arizona. So, Katie, we got Illinois 3 seed versus UConn, the 2 seed. Who you got tonight?
I gotta go UConn.
Yeah, any particular reason or just vibe?
It's just the vibe, I'm getting that feeling in my bones.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna go with INI, the homeland, just so we're on a different page there. Apparently they got like a bunch of European Larrys. I don't know anything about it, but that's what I heard. So
that's weird.
INI. That's who I got there. We got Michigan 1 seed versus Arizona 1 seed. Who you got there?
AZ, baby.
Okay.
I just don't like Michigan.
Okay, you know what? I'm going to take Michigan. I'm going to go with Big Ten. I just want Big Ten.
Wow, I just went very anti-Big Ten.
You did. Okay.
And then, so, I mean, to clarify, that's the men's tournament.
Hondo P, yeah.
So let's think about equality next time.
Okay, well, maybe you could add some into the sheet. Maybe you could do that. We'll do women's next episode.
Okay.
Well, actually, it's going to be over, I think. We could do a lifetime lookup.
Yeah, do a lifetime lookup with Matt.
Okay, lifetime lookup with Matt. Women's Final Four matchups. I don't even know who's in it, to be honest. I think it's all the 1 seeds, though, which it kind of usually is.
Oh.
Yeah, dude, I think it's like much more lopsided in women's.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got this is just the championship. We're in the championship.
Oh.
We got the South Carolina Gamecocks against UCLA Bruins.
Okay, I've heard that UCLA is like a good dog story, I think.
Yeah, okay.
So I'm going UCLA.
I think I'm going to go UCLA too. I think my boss's boss, huge UCLA women's basketball fan.
Okay,
so shout out.
I think they've had a fun season. I mean, from my limited research that I've done.
Yeah, okay, so let's go UCLA there. Quick pivot back to the men's. Who would you get in your championship then? Arizona versus UConn. Who you got?
UConn.
Okay, go UConn. I'm going to go Michigan versus Illinois. I mean, frick. I'm going to go Illinois. Frick it.
Wow.
Frick it.
The Fighting Illini.
ILL, baby. I do want to just say this is the worst bracket I've ever had in my Matt's March Madness history. So bad, dude. So take everything I say with a grain of salt. I know nothing. It's probably going to be the exact opposite of what I say.
When you are building your bracket, like, what are you going off of?
I know nothing. Honestly, so, like, some years I'm, like, a little bit in step, where I've watched a decent bit. This year I watched 0 college basketball before, so I was like, honestly, maybe this will be a good year because I watched so little, and it went the opposite way. So, usually I'm, like, kind of upset heavy, and that was my problem this year, is every upset I called was the opposite, and then all the other ones were the right upsets, It went horribly. I picked Duke. Duke went down. That was tough.
I did pick Duke, too.
Yeah, so it just wasn't my year. Shout out your husband. He's got, like, a top 1% bracket.
Yeah, like, less than 1%.
Yeah.
It's something gross.
And he knows nothing. Yeah, well, so good luck to him. All right, so that's Final Four. Are we ready? Should we dive in here?
Yeah, dude. I got the first story here. And, I came up with this idea because I was talking to somebody at work. And this guy played football in college.
Your coworker did?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And he went to Northwestern.
Very cool.
And he told me that the first ever basketball national championship, which was in 1939, was held at the Patton Gymnasium in Evanston.
Wow.
Which was the home court at the time at Northwestern University.
Very cool.
Yeah, isn't that interesting?
I would have never guessed that.
I mean, when you think about it, it's like, okay, it's a centrally located place, I guess. So maybe that's why they picked it.
Sure.
But, that got me thinking.
Yeah.
Matt, when do you think the term March Madness was coined?
I have no idea.
You have no idea? You don't think it was that 1939?
No, I don't. That had to have been. It had to have been later, but I don't know how. I would go 2003.
No. It was the 1980s. I don't know the specific year, but 1980s.
Okay, very cool.
So, yeah. So, like 40 years later.
Yeah.
In that fateful championship series, only 8 teams competed compared to the 68 that compete today.
Wow.
University of Oregon won that championship. Matt, they were not the Ducks. Did you know this?
I know. I would have figured they'd always been the Ducks.
No, they weren't the Ducks, Matt. They were the Webfoots. Things were so weird back then.
Yeah.
Things were so weird back then.
What's with these names?
What is with these names? I was looking at the names of all the guys on the team.
Carl.
Yeah.
Norman.
Carl. Yeah, exactly.
Norman the fighter.
Yeah. In the championship, what do you call it? Round game?
Yeah.
Championship game?
You call it the championship game.
They beat Ohio State in that game 46-33.
Oregon did?
Oregon did.
Okay, first of all, wait, can I just say something really quick?
Yeah.
What a crazy low score.
Okay, I know. They were
but
all
they didn't
like
have the
that.
3-pointer, right? I don't think they had a 3-pointer.
I don't know. I have no idea.
But
all the games were like that kind of scoring.
Yeah.
At the time, they were nicknamed the Tall Furs, because they were unusually tall for the time. So, Matt, this Oregon win, it was particularly memorable because they had to travel across the country at that time, which what did they have, like horse and buggies at that time? I don't know. But they had to play those like multiple games. I think they I don't know. They probably played 3 games in that unfamiliar Midwestern venue that they just were not used to. So between traveling and that unfamiliar vibe, like they were probably all turned around, Matt.
Wow.
So they kind of had a crazy tournament. The Oregon versus Oklahoma, that was the Western Regional Final. Oregon came from behind at key moments, relying on freshman talent, which was unusual at the time.
Sure.
But I also feel like that's unusual today, right?
No, I think actually well, this isn't entirely true. I think it depends on the team. Like if you're like a Duke, they have like some really good freaking freshmen. But if you're like I don't know, like a Loyola, you might be riding off of your seniors. Yeah. Can I say a quick lifetime lookup?
Jump in.
Quick lifetime lookup. First, the NCAA formally adopted the 3-point line not until 1986.
Really?
So like 40 years after this, but the first official collegiate 3-pointer was made by Ronnie Carr of Western Carolina.
Ronnie Carr.
November 29th, 1980. So it wasn't adopted until later, but they must have been playing around with it beforehand. Mm-hmm. Interesting. Mm-hmm. Tap back in.
So Oregon beat Oklahoma. It sounded like it was a crazy game. In the final, they played Ohio State. Where people considered them being on like their home turf because they were in the Midwest. So Oregon, again, kind of like feeling like the underdog there.
Yeah, the Webfoot.
They fell behind early, but relied on a clever fast break offense, ending up winning 46-33.
Wow.
What's fast break offense? Just they were ripping around?
Playing fast. I mean, it's like, if someone's on a fast break, right? It's like kind of like... the defense is probably trying to catch up to him. So it's like, get the ball, you're whipping down the court, going for a layup.
Okay. Well, so John H. Dick.
This is the most 1930s.
Johnny Dick featured a game-high 15 points.
Wow.
3 players from the team from the 1938-39 Oregon men's basketball team were selected as All-Americans. And Hobson, who I think was the coach, and Lauren Gale have been honored by the Basketball Hall of Fame.
Wow.
So I like this. You know, it's the first game, but it's also kind of a fun little underdog story. Considering that travel, they were tired from the horse and buggy across the country, being a new team on the national stage.
Yeah.
Kind of a wild start to the first ever national championship, wouldn't you think, Matt?
I would think so, too. And I mean, that's just, I feel like that's the beauty of March Madness. It's like expect the unexpected.
I think, yes.
You know?
I'm not a sports girly.
Yeah.
I mean, even though I'm here.
Yeah.
But I can get excited about some basketball and some March Madness because that's where dreams come true.
Totally where dreams come true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's one of my favorite things just about March Madness in general. Yeah. It's just like the coolest thing is when a freaking underdog gets a dub, you know?
Yeah, dude. And you got one of those stories.
Right? Oh, yeah. Yeah, you ready for me to rock and roll?
Go. That was my story.
No, that's a great story. First March Madness. Never thought about it. Never thought about it.
I know, dude. 1939.
Crazy.
Northwestern.
The
Webfoots.
And the Webfoots. What a cool...
And like, wouldn't it be Web Feet?
No. We're in Oregon. John H. Dick with a 15-point game. That's electric. I had to pull out I feel like a lot of people know of this, but maybe not in the detail, or so this will be
even I remember this
fun. Do you know why I remember this so vividly?
Why?
This was the day that I surprised you on your birthday, driving from Penn State to Milwaukee.
Really?
This was that day. Because
were we watching the game?
No. Oh. So we had visited you in Milwaukee. We're driving back to Lake Bluff. It's on the radio. And I remember I had my buddies with me, Nico Fleming, Jeremy Fertoni. Both of them were asleep because we had driven all night. Both of them are asleep. And I was like, guys, you're gonna miss the first time a 16 seed beats a 1 seed. They wouldn't wake up. And so it was like me and Dad in the car. And we were like, holy cow,
Wow. Oh.
So if you don't know it by now, I'm talking about in 2018, the UMBC Retrievers, the 16 seed, first time ever beating a 1 seed, which was University of Virginia. And not only did they win, but they smoked Virginia. I had forgotten that it was not a close game. It was 74-54. So they pounded them.
What was going on?
I'm going to tell you.
Tell me.
I'm going to tell you exactly what happened, but first I'm going to give you the setup, okay?
Okay.
So we got, obviously, the Virginia Cavaliers, the number 1 overall seed. They're not only the 1 seed, Katie, they are the number 1 overall, right? So they're the 1 of 1, right? The top dog, okay? Mm-hmm. They were 31-2. They were kind of known for this elite defense. They were only allowing 54 points per game, which is funny because that's how they scored in the game. And then we got UMBC on the other side. We got the UMBC Retrievers. They were the number 16 seed, right? They were 24-10, right? So, I mean, obviously winning record, but they're from a smaller conference. They're from the America East, I think, or American East.
Who else is in that?
Not conference? A clue. That might be a lifetime lookup. Not a clue. I don't know if we'll even recognize any of the teams. Okay, so at the time, right, in this moment, before then, 16 seeds were 0-135 all time. Not a single one had won a game. Okay. And so I'm going to tell you exactly how this game went. Okay. So in the first half, right, it was close, but it was weird. All right. Virginia led early, but UMBC was staying composed. They were staying in there. The score at halftime was 21-21, right? Low scoring first half. Tie ball game, but there was already a red flag. Virginia's offense looked stuck. Do you have something?
No. So I was just, what do you mean they looked stuck?
They just weren't scoring a lot. They didn't look efficient. I think there was turnovers. I think they were not shooting very efficiently. So I think people at half were like, uh-oh.
Oh, Vermont's in the America East.
Oh, word up. Nice. Anybody else of note?
It's not showing me all of them, but
okay. Well, at least we know one.
Maine.
Nice.
Just the state of Maine.
Yeah, the entire state of Maine.
I don't know the other ones.
Okay, so here's where history flipped on its frickin' head. We're in the second half, Katie. So a lot of ball game left. Okay. UMBC came out fearless and aggressive. They started hitting threes. They're pushing the pace. They're attacking the rim. University of Virginia looked completely rattled, right? They're missing shots. They're having turnovers. There's no rhythm. And then it turned into a freaking blowout. UMBC went on a huge run, never looked back. Final score 74, or UMBC 74, Virginia 54. And it wasn't a buzzer beater, wasn't a lucky break. They freaking dominated.
They were just feeling it.
They were feeling it, dude. So who are our heroes from the game? You might be wondering. Our UMBC heroes, I don't know exactly how to say this. I would say Jairus.
Yeah.
Jairus Lyles. He had 28 points. He hit tough shots all night, played with total confidence, looked like the best player on the floor whole game. We had KJ Mara. He was the emotional leader, right? He was our playmaker. He controlled the pace. He hit big shots, talked trash in a fun way, too. His famous quote at mid-game, "We're not scared."
Aw, yeah.
Let's go, KJ. Love that. We're not scared. And then, of course, Ryan Odom, the head coach, he had the perfect game plan, pushing the tempo against Virginia's slow style. He got his team to believe they could win, not just compete.
Who is Ryan Odom related to Lamar Odom?
I don't think so. I don't know for sure. That might be a lifetime lookup with Katie, but I don't think so. Not that I know of. So
did you see there's a new documentary about Lamar Odom on Netflix?
I did not. No, I remember he had kind of a crazy little situation going on. But so you might be wondering, hey, what happened to UMBC after that big game there? They did end up losing to Kansas State, which I believe was the 9 seed. This comes back up later, so we don't need a lifetime lookup. But they ended up losing 50-43. So they held in there, right? Only losing by 7. Another, low score for them. But,
yeah, that's a low.
Yeah, didn't quite replicate the magic, but I mean, it's got to be one of the most famous games all time in March Madness history. And just one thing I feel like I definitely need to mention, just for you Virginia fans out there, that was their chip on their shoulder the next year, and they won the national championship. So they went from getting upset by a 16 seed to winning it all. So what a cool turnaround.
Ryan Odom is definitely not related to Lamar Odom. They look very different.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Why is he white? Yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah.
That'll do it. Okay. Well. So that's my story about the first time a 16 seed took down a 1 seed. Not the only time, but it's the first time. Yeah.
Well, Matt, I have news for you.
Yeah.
You're wrong.
What am I wrong about?
You're wrong about them being the first March Madness being the first 16 being the 1 seed. 1998 women's Harvard beat number 1 Stanford.
Oh my God.
1998, baby.
Tell me all about it. This is our third story.
This is the third story. So what was this? 1998 before. So this was 20 years prior, Matt.
Yeah, totally.
20 freaking years prior.
Yeah.
In the 1998 March Madness, the Harvard women flew 3,000 miles to pull off arguably the greatest upset in the history of college basketball, Matt. That is when the Harvard Crimson defeated top-seeded Stanford on the Cardinals' home court. Wow. Can you imagine? It was a 71-67 victory, so tight teats. It was the first time a number 16 ousted the 1 seed in either the women's or the men's tournament. It remains the only 16-1 upset in the women's tournament history.
Oh, interesting.
So, fun fact about this game, this team, it was led by Allison Feaster. I think
on Easter. Sorry.
Yeah. Yep. She is now the mom of a UConn Huskies player, Sarah Strong. I guess she's on the Huskies right now.
Okay.
Like playing
cool.
right now. So kind of crazy.
Yeah.
At the time, nobody saw this Harvard team coming. They were 22-4. They had Allison Feaster, 28.5 points per game.
Holy cow.
That's pretty good, I guess.
Wait. Sorry, I just want to clarify. Allison Feaster's on Harvard?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, she's on Harvard.
Okay.
So they were 22-4. I don't know how this works, so maybe you can clarify this. Mm-hmm. But so they released the brackets, and they had that great season, but they were ranked at number 16 as a number 16 seed, and they at the time felt like what the F? Like we've had a great season. Like, why aren't you considering us?
I don't know this for sure, but I mean, like, I know that I don't want to say this for sure. But like the Ivy League, you know, I don't think is the most competitive versus like, you know, some of the other divisions. So actually, that's probably why. Like you can have a dope. I know that this happens in, you know, the men's division too, where like you can have a dope record, but if you're Vermont, you're 31-2, and you've only played, you know, American East teams all year. Like you're definitely not going to be ranked. Super high.
Yeah, I get that.
They definitely factor
in. So their coach, I guess her name was Kathy Delaney Smith. She said, we felt, and maybe this was part of the fuel as we had been feeling all along. We felt disrespected by that number 16 ranking.
Yeah.
And later, you know, I guess when they're like getting ready for March Madness, she heard from somebody with ESPN about this conference call where all the production team was talking. They were talking about plans. Plans were being made for the coverage of the tournament. At one point on the call, they brought up how to handle the Stanford-Arkansas game in the second round. So just assuming Harvard was out of it. One person on the 20-person conference call asked, what if Harvard wins? And everybody on the phone just laughed. Matt?
You know what that reminds me of?
What?
No, I'm not going to say it.
Tell me.
Just the men's hockey team.
Oh.
Does it not?
The men's hockey team?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That all set?
Yeah.
I'll leave it at that.
Okay. So at the game, we're at the game now. Before the game, they came running out of the locker room to warm up. There was this very like avid Stanford fan that said, "Welcome to real basketball." To the end of the line of players, and a couple of coaches heard that, and that comment the coaches, of course, shared with the team before tip-up to like really get them riled up.
Yeah, love that.
So at halftime, Harvard led by 9 points. And that's when people were like, oh, shit, like, this is, like, kind of close, I guess.
You literally wrote on the doc, that's when people were like, oh, shit.
I did write that, yeah. And everybody was like, Harvard has played so well, but, you know, when are they going to, like, when's Stanford going to come?
It?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then they ran into the locker room and... Oh, wait, okay, sorry. I'm doing a terrible job at telling the story. So that guy had said, welcome to real basketball. And then on the way back into the locker room at halftime, the assistant coach, like, found that guy and was like, we love real basketball.
Love that.
So Allison Feaster, you know, talking about the game, she's that, you know, that kind of head player.
Yeah.
We all embodied this mantra, act as if your role is the most important role on the team. Wow. And she herself scored 35 points to go with 13 rebounds that game.
Yeah.
The Harvard Crimson stood... Oh, okay. So sorry. So, yeah. Great game. Won. It was wild. I was watching some videos of, you know, the celebrations after, and like people were just going crazy. It's like the most everybody's in their like little 90s jackets and
jeans.
Like their little hair.
Yeah.
And so for 20 years they were the only team to beat the only 16 team to beat the 1 seed.
Yeah.
And then that UMBC team beat the 1 seed that you were just talking about.
Yeah. And
so somebody asked that coach, like, were you sad to like kind of lose that?
Yeah, to be the only one.
Yeah, right. And the coach said, there are 2 answers to that. Really, no, because it's so thrilling and exciting. But I was so happy for them because I know the feeling. Yeah. But yes, because the trivia question that gets reported year in and year out, when the Virginia men lost, there were like 15 corrections in the media. No one's ever done it before. Well, you're wrong. Just like you were wrong, Matt. Somebody had done it before in that regard. I'm sorry. We were still not the only one who did it.
Yeah.
And Feaster also said she was happy to watch that UMBC team win. Happy to see their joy. Another example of inexplicable basketball magic.
Yeah, right.
She said that's the beauty of sports.
That is the beauty of sports. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What are you doing over there?
I'm doing a lifetime lookup.
Okay. I'm curious what you're looking at. So yeah, I go ladies, go Harvard. What?
It's loading.
Okay.
Nothing. No, I mean that. Yeah. First of all, that's super cool, and I deserve to be put in my place there.
Yeah, you do.
I do. Well, okay. So honestly, I didn't even know that story, and I'm sure there's a lot of stupid men like me that are like, UMBC's the only one to be.
Nope.
Nope. Because Harvard frickin' did it.
The Harvard ladies.
Yeah. Allison Feaster.
Getting
after it. I wanted to remember who Purdue lost to, and it was Fairleigh Dickinson University.
Oh, that's right.
So that's another one.
Yes, I remember that.
That was in 2023. That was awesome, man. That was really cool.
Yeah,
I'm kind of a Purdue
was
hater.
Like Farley Dickinson.
Yeah,
what the heck
and
is
Purdue
that?
had Zach Edey, who's like 7'4", and they freaking won. Yeah, so that's just a little shout out there. That's the super cool story. It's 1998. That's the first true 16 to take down a 1 seed. So immediate lifetime correction for me.
Shut down. First
men's team. I will clarify for mine. Yeah. Nice.
Matt, what's your final?
The fourth story that we have teed up today. And I brought in a little memento for it, as I do sometimes in the podcast room.
Okay, yeah.
We are going to be talking about, and this is 2018 as well, which is kind of crazy. This was remember the UMBC year was also 2018. Sister Jean and the Chicago Loyola Ramblers make a remarkable and charming Final Four run as the 11 seed. And know what's kind of crazy? So when you fill out your little brackets, right, it's the 4 quadrants, right? This 11 seed, right, Loyola, that ended up going on a tear, was in the same bracket corner as UMBC. So imagine trying to figure out your bracket that year and having a 16 and then 11.
What a crazy year.
What a crazy little
so
year.
Sister Jean passed away recently. Oh, sorry.
Katie, I'm getting there.
Sorry.
Literally, I write before you ask 2 lines down, which is hilarious.
That's sorry.
Okay. No, that's okay.
I spoiled it.
That's okay. So no, that's okay.
Spoiled it.
Spoil it. So the memento that we have in here, Uncle Mitch found a Loyola bobblehead from their Final Four run. What's the Wolf's name? Is it Lou? Lou Wolf? It's on the back.
Know.
It's on the back. It says on the back.
Lou Wolf, but it's Lou is spelled L-U.
L-U. Huh. Loyola University.
Oh.
Right?
Yeah, I guess.
That's my guess. So anyways, let's dive into this magical Final Four run that the 11 seed, the Loyola Ramblers, had that year. And let's talk about Sister Jean. I'm sure some people remember this for sure, because Sister Jean took like front center stage. So at the time, she was 98 years old, right? She was the team.
Holy Lord.
Team chaplain. Is that how you say it?
Chaplain.
Chaplain. Thank you. For Loyola Chicago. She gave pregame prayers. She gave scouting insights and obviously moral support. And before you ask, she passed away in 2025. Jean Dolores Schmidt, BMV, August 21, 1919 to October 9th, 2025, better known as Sister Jean, was an American religious sister of the Sisters of Charity of the Blessed Virgin Mary and Chaplain.
Chaplain.
Why do I have a hard time with that? I want to say Chaplain.
Chaplain would be the French way.
Chaplain. For the Loyola Ramblers men's basketball team at Loyola University of Chicago. So rest in peace, Sister Jean. We're going to give you a magical moment here from 2018. So let's set the scene again. Loyola is the 11th seed. They are not expected to go far at all, right? We got our bobblehead next to Katie. So I'm gonna take you game by game, give you some of the highlights, right? Because they won several games here. Made it all the way to the Final Four, right? So round of 64, we got the 11th seed playing the 16. They're playing Miami Hurricanes. Loyola wins 64-62. So nail biter, game-winning buzzer beater by Dante Ingram. And Sister Jean had predicted a win before the game, and it frickin' happened. So game 1 in the books. We're headed to round of 32, where they're facing off against the would you call it the lowest seed or highest seed? If they're a 3 seed, lowest seed. Right?
What?
You know what I mean? Like if you're playing a 3 seed versus 16 seed.
Oh, yeah, I guess 3 would be the high seed.
3 is the high seed. Okay, so the highest seed that they end up playing, the Tennessee Volunteers. Loyola wins 63-62.
Wow, another tight team.
And almost like an identical score as the previous game. Another last-second shot, this time by Clayton Custer.
Clayton Custer.
Sick name, by the way. So now we're into the Sweet 16 where we're playing the Nevada Wolfpack, the 7 seed. Loyola wins 69-68.
Yikes.
Yet another close finish. By now, they were known for clutch plays. Like, I mean, the magic is happening, right? This is the magic March Madness. Close games, buzzer beaters, close wins. Cinderella story. We're on to the Elite Eight.
What's Sister Jean doing?
Sister Jean is just
vibing.
I mean, cameras are on her. She's giving pregame prayers, right?
Is she in like a little like cloak?
I think so. I think she's in her little sister outfit for sure. Don't know what that's called.
It's not a cloak. I don't know.
You called it a cloak.
I know. I can't look it up because I don't have internet.
Yeah, okay. Well, let's just...
She was in her...
I'm just going to apologize to our listeners. It's not a little sister outfit. It's not a cloak.
We're already issuing a redaction.
You can tell...
that we
aren't super religious.
It's not our fault.
You can't blame us. We weren't raised that way. All right. Anyway, so they're known for clutch plays. Sister Jean, front, center stage. We're into the Elite Eight now. We're facing off against who, Katie? But the Kansas State Wildcats. Little reverse back to earlier in the episode. Kansas State took down UMBC after that game. So Kansas State's it's a 9-11 in the Elite Eight.
Jesus.
Right? And in this game, it's not a close one. Loyola dominates and wins 78-62, their most dominant game of their magical Final Four run, and they clinched a Final Four spot. I don't know. Every time that I'm picturing, right, me doing a bracket, right, it's like have a couple ones in there, maybe throw a 2 in, maybe a 3. Maybe if you're really feeling good about your own, team, maybe it's a 6 seed, whatever. I can't imagine how many people had an 11 seed in their Final Four, right? And this is where their run stops, but the story does not. Okay, so they ended up losing to the Michigan Wolverines.
That's why we hate them.
They were a 3 seed. That's why Katie hates them. And the Final Four, they lost 69-57, so still hung in there. So for this magical run that our Loyola Ramblers had, our key players, right? Clayton Custer, we mentioned him earlier. He's their team leader. He's their clutch scorer. He hit multiple game winners, right? We also have Dante Ingram. Big shots, leadership, hit that buzzer beater in the first round. And then we have Cameron Krutwig, who was just a dominant big man, right?
Do any of these guys play in the NBA now?
Not that I'm aware of, but don't quote me on that. Okay. Yeah, Cameron controlled the paint. So why is this run so special, right? Constant drama. 3 of the games decided in the final seconds. Sister Jean's obvious presence, right? She really just became a national icon overnight. She did interviews, appeared on TV. She even got her own bobblehead. I wish that's the bobblehead we had.
Yeah, I was looking at.
We got Lou Wolf. That's not.
Well,
maybe she's wearing the outfit. I don't know. In the aftermath, right? Loyola became one of the most beloved teams in tournament history. Sister Jean ended up throwing out the first pitch at a Cubs game.
Oh,
she gained national fame. The Ramblers.
And wait, how old was she? 98.
98 at the time.
Jesus.
So 7 years later, she ended up dying at 105. 105 wow. must be 104. The Ramblers returned to relevance as a program too. I think they had a long time there where either they wouldn't make the tournament, they'd lose, and their story is still referenced anytime as a mid-major or their story is mentioned anytime a mid-major team, right? So mid-major, one of those like not major conferences, right? Makes a run, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So some fun details that I want to add in there too. Sister Jean would sometimes include specific basketball strategy in her prayers, apparently, like asking for good shooting percentages or defensive focus, which players said actually helped them stay locked in, which I think is beautiful.
Like her doing
like her prayers, her pregame prayers. I'm paraphrasing here, but may the Lord bless us with good shooting percentages.
Yeah. Okay.
And a high defensive focus. So
that's cute.
Yeah. Loyola became just the 4th 11 seed ever to reach the Final Four at the time. Maybe that's just men's. So don't fully quote me on that now that I've been pwned. And they were the lowest seed left in the tournament that year, making them the ultimate Cinderella story of 2018. Alongside our UMBC retriever.
So in my research about March Madness, people love to use that Cinderella story reference.
For sure. And, actually I was looking into it a little bit, and I was going to maybe talk about like where that term came from. And it ended up being like not as interesting as I thought. It's kind of just like, everyone knows Cinderella, right? We all know our princesses.
She's got that slipper.
She's got the slipper, but she's like kind of just like, she's a dog. Cinderella's a dog.
And she's hot.
Well, people thought she was like not that hot though.
Oh yeah.
But and then just and then she wore the fucking slipper, and that's like, oh my god, Cinderella.
Yeah, love her, love that lady.
Yeah. So, that's our Loyola Ramblers. I did want to shout out a couple other Cinderella stories. Do we want to bounce back and forth on these?
Sure.
Kick us off.
The George Mason Patriots in 2006. They were the 11 seed and they went to the Final Four. They beat powerhouses like the Michigan State Spartans, the North Carolina Tar Heels.
They were the defending champs, too. Okay. So they took down the defending champs.
And they beat the Yukon Huskies. Yukon Huskies. So George Mason Patriots. Okay, cool.
Yeah. And their Elite Eight win over UConn went to overtime. Still one of the biggest upsets ever. Put mid-major programs on the map in a big way. So,
whoa!
So we also have the VCU Rams in 2011, the 11 seed making it to the Final Four. So it does kind of seem like there's a couple 11 seeds making the Final Four, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, that's neat.
So they had to play in the first 4 to get into the tournament too. I don't know if you're kind of aware of that situation, but there's like 4 teams that play before the tournament. So it's like,
is it kind of like a wild card?
That's why there's 68 teams, right, instead of 64, right? It's 64 teams that end up playing in like the big bracket that you see, but there's the first 4 game beforehand. Don't know exactly why that's the case, but that does happen. So they ended up winning that game and then making it to the Final Four, right? So they had an extra game. They made a crazy run, blowing out teams like the Kansas Jayhawks, who were a 1 seed. They were known for their havoc, full court pressing defense. So that kind of means that the defense is up and ready from the moment the ball is thrown in, right? Instead of like getting back on defense.
Okay, they're just like ready to rage.
They're ready to rage like right when the ball's passing.
Cool. Okay. Oh, sorry. The Florida Gulf Coast Eagles in 2013, they were the 15th seed and they ended up making it to the Sweet 16. They were the first ever 15 seed to reach the Sweet 16, nicknamed Dunk City for their insane alley-oops and fast breaks. They beat the Georgetown Hoyas and the San Diego State Aztecs in style, baby.
Yeah. I should clarify, too, these are all the men's teams. Sorry. You could have added the women's.
Okay, what's the next one?
St. Peter's Peacocks.
What are these? Sound like made up teams? Is this an April Fool's joke?
No, this is not an April Fool's joke. This is real. Do you not remember? This was awesome. I mean,
St. Peter's Peacocks. I don't remember that.
This. If I were to do a 5th story, it would have been this. Because it was so beautiful. Everyone fell in love with this team because they fucking named the Peacocks, first of all. And just unexpected. The 15 seed made the Elite Eight, first ever 15 seed to make an Elite Eight run, beat the blue blood Kentucky Wildcats in the first round, then kept it going with wins over Murray State, Racers, and the Purdue Boilermakers. Purdue Boilermakers get upset all the time. That's all I'm saying. They are just always taken down by
good.
Good. Keep it that way.
Okay, ready?
Yeah, what's
last
our last
but not
one?
least, the North Carolina State Wolfpack, 1983, Matt, 1983. They were 6th seed, and they went to the national... they became the national champions.
Yeah.
The North Carolina State Wolfpack did, huh?
Yeah.
They weren't a super low seed at the time, but it was one of the most magical runs ever. They won the title on a last-second dunk by Lorenzo Charles off a missed shot. They were coached by the legendary Jim Valvano, and his celebration is iconic.
I have not seen the video, so maybe that's something we watch after this.
Okay, huh?
Together. Yeah.
Cool.
So those are some some ones that I just felt like we should shout out, right? There's some cool Cinderella stories. And who knows, maybe next year, March Madness this time, we'll do a deep dive into one of those.
Yeah, maybe. Who's to say?
Who's to say? Not I.
Who can tell the future? Not I.
Not I. So let's do our Katie call to the pen.
Call to the pen.
Call to the pen. What'd you learn?
I really liked the history behind this one.
Yeah.
Like, starts 1939. People are traveling.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know that it became March Madness until the 80s.
Right.
Yeah, it was neat.
Yeah, I think I deserved to get schooled, and I learned, and I needed to learn. Yeah, Harvard. I'll never forget that the first 16 seed to truly win was the Harvard Crimson, taking down Stanford.
71-67.
71-67, yeah. I'll never forget that. So now it's time for everybody's favorite segment.
Wah, wah, wah.
Big Dogs of the Week.
Wah, wah, wah. So we wanted to provide an update on this segment, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. I think a good clarification and hence hitherto
what are we
moving
doing
forward.
Here? What are we doing
here? Yeah, because I think in previous episodes, right, sometimes we would do moments from the past, right? I remember doing,
we were kind of all over the place.
I remember doing like a shout out to Peanut Tillman, right, who doesn't play anymore, right? The big dogs of the week.
We're going to make this more of like a current event.
It's going to be a current event. Like, hey, last couple of weeks, what's kind of gone down? What are
like the fun, nice little stories?
Cool stories from recent, because I feel like a lot of times we go into history with our main portion. So with our dessert here, we're going with current events.
Yeah.
Kind of,
Wait, what's the time that we're at right now? How long have we been recording? I feel like we've been talking really fast. Just like a basketball game.
Like a basketball game. It's March Madness. It's crazy. I think an hour-ish. Yeah, I don't know it because
I'm always really wrong about
the thing that I have. It goes by beats, like rather than minutes. So I don't know. We've gone 1,418.
Please buy some merch so we can get a new
a timer. I think we're close to an hour. I'd say.
Okay, that's good.
So we're good.
We're on track.
Big dogs of the week here. Are you cool if I go first?
Yeah, go first.
Okay. So I want to talk about Dominic Smith. Okay. You might not know Dominic Smith. He's kind of, I don't know how to put this exactly. Like, he was kind of like a big name coming up in the MLB.
Okay, so baseball. We're
talking
now?
Baseball. We're talking Dominic Smith. He's on the Atlanta Braves. So kind of a big name, and then he just never found his groove. He's on the Mets, he was on the Giants, never found his footing, right? Couple injuries, just not a lot of success, but a beautiful thing happened here recently. The not as beautiful thing was his mom passed away a couple weeks ago, and she was super important in his life, and the Braves actually gave him some time away, even though, it's like, I feel like, especially in baseball, right? It's like, especially maybe if you're not performing to the level that you want to, it's like, oh, should I take some time away, right? Because you might lose your spot, right? So they gave him some room to grieve and all that good stuff. And he ended up hitting a walk-off grand slam.
Oh, my Lord.
Yeah, and he said, so Dominic Smith felt his mother's presence, shout out MLB.com for this article, as his walk-off grand slam sailed into the right field seats to give the Braves a thrilling 6-2 win over the Royals on Saturday night. This was last Saturday at Truist Park. And he said he definitely felt his mom's presence, got choked up a bunch of times.
I was going to say, was he crying? Was everybody in the frickin' stands crying? I would be.
He said, I'm trying to hold back tears right now. It just felt so special. I feel her every day. I miss her dearly. That's not a moment where I don't think about her. So, yeah. He said too, I want to say this about, the Braves at the Space game. I left camp for like a week and a half because she had a scare. So this is when she had a scare. This is when she passed that. This team is just so awesome. I'm so blessed because of the love they showed me. So yeah, I mean, he led them to a ninth inning rally there that got them the dub. A lot of emotion. The boys, watch the video. The boys go crazy. The Braves players go nuts. And I think he's kind of finding his footing. I didn't know who Dominic Smith was, and now I've kind of been keeping track of him a little bit. I think he hit another ding dong. Yeah, the other day. And one other quote about him and his mom, he said, "I'm her son. I know she's a fighter. She fought it as long as she could and for as long, oh, that's confusing. She fought it as long as she could and for as long as she could."
That's a typo.
That's a typo, but that's in the actual article. So
yeah.
Don't blame me. Anyways, beautiful story. Last quote, "They preach a family environment here," Smith said. This is about the Braves. "That's what I feel from the group and the coaching staff. I'm just so thankful for the opportunity to suit up for the Braves." So shout out Dominic Smith. Shout out his mom.
R.I.P. Mom.
I think it's Yvette.
Okay.
And she passed away on March 15th after a heroic battle against cancer. And Dominic Smith honored her with a big old walk-off grand slam for the Braves.
Good job, Dom.
Yeah, so I'm going to give some snaps
okay,
there.
well, BRB crying.
Yep.
I can't do mine.
Okay. Kitty, what you got?
I'm heading over to the world of golf. You know, this is, I don't know. Yeah, this is another emotional roller coaster. Gary Woodland. He's a golfer. I think he's like pretty good.
Okay.
I don't know. Yeah.
I don't know Gary.
So he won the Texas Children's Houston Open recently. It was an emotional moment that seemed so improbable 30 months ago. That's when he had brain surgery.
Holy cow.
Brain surgery. And 2 weeks ago, he opened up in an interview about his struggles with PTSD.
Wow.
That kind of like sprouted after the surgery.
Mm-hmm.
So he beat another golfer by 5. Do you think that's 5 strokes? 5 hits?
Yeah, I would assume 5 strokes. Yeah.
What? Isn't that a thing?
I don't think they call it 5 hits, but yeah, 5 strokes.
Okay. Yeah. He beat a guy named Nikolai Hasha. And it was his first win since the 2019 U.S. Open. So mentally, Woodland's first win in nearly 7 years was most remarkable as it came just weeks before. He talked about his struggles with PTSD, which he'd been diagnosed with in early 2025, about a year and a half after that surgery to remove a lesion from his brain. When he was talking about his PTSD struggles, he said, "Inside, I feel like I'm dying and I feel like I'm living a lie." And he had hoped that by talking about this and getting it out in the open, that it would kind of, he could focus that energy that he spent like trying to hide this part of him, focus that energy on more important things in his recovery and focus on golf and things that he liked to do. And he said this week that going public with that information made him feel 1,000 pounds lighter. He still has moments, I guess, over in the, competition in the thing. He said that, like, you know, when fans get too close to him, he doesn't like that. And it kind of, you know,
freaks him out.
Instigates that PTSD.
Yeah.
And that kind of makes him hypervigilant. He said he was in tears scoring after the second round before he kind of reset and got on with his routine. So it's really impacting him, but he's gotten this out in the open and everybody's like, "Dude, we got you."
Yeah.
At the end, when he like hit that last little ball, he stretched out both his arms, exhaled, and looked to the blue sky, and his tears were pouring down his face. He said after that wonderful little tournament, "We play an individual sport out here, but I wasn't alone today. Anyone struggling with something, I hope they see me and don't give up. Just keep fighting."
Wow, that's beautiful. That is
beautiful.
You don't think about what's going on in their brains.
No, you don't.
You're just thinking about how they're playing.
Yeah, totally. Like you just think that they're like in the zone.
Yeah.
But, you know, they gotta work for that.
I feel like both these stories, good reminders that these guys are human.
These guys are human.
They're dealing with their own stuff. We got, you know, if you're having a bad day, think about Gary, think about Dominic.
Yeah, think about Gary and Dom.
Yeah.
Wow.
Shout out to the boys.
The boys, the dogs of the week.
The dogs of the week. That was a good dogs of the week.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
This was good too.
Love it. One thing I want to do before we get going here, we forgot to do this at the beginning.
Oh,
it's a milestone. It's our 10th episode.
It is.
I wanted to maybe just shout out a couple previous episodes, a couple of our favorites.
What have been your favorite?
I was looking at the list. It's so hard. It's so hard to just pick a couple. I honestly like each one in its own way, you know?
Yeah, they've all been unique. They all have like their little personality.
Yeah, and I think we've gotten a little bit better each episode, right? So I'll give you 2. I'm gonna go with the Mark Webber episode. I just think that was I just think it was like the furthest out of our realm.
Yeah, and so we were like,
I thought we did a pretty good job. I know people were like, you were clearly not knowing what you're talking about, which is fair, but
that was the most global audience.
Yes, we had a lot of Australian listeners that episode, which was fun. So I'm gonna
and
shout
by
out
a
that
lot,
one.
we mean like 2.
No, it's like 3. And then it's so tough. It's so tough. I really liked the last episode, but I think that was like, it was like my little like brainchild, you know? It's the first one I wrote.
That was a good one though. That was like well executed because like you had it down.
Right. Yeah. And obviously very biased. Love D. Lee. So that one, yeah, I'm going to leave it at that. What you got?
My favorite one was the Drew Brees and Tommy Reese one.
Yeah.
Like because in that one, it was the first Dogs After Dark, I think. And so we were like kind of lit, and
we got a little crazy.
I started laughing so hard I was crying about something super dumb. That was also the one where what was the word? It wasn't like tabernacle, but it was like it was another like religious thing.
Yeah, what was that word? We said it horribly wrong.
Yeah,
I don't remember.
Yeah, but everybody thought that was hilarious because we were so dumb.
Yeah, which we are.
That was my favorite one. But yeah, when people ask like, which one should I listen to first? I do say that one we just did because it was like
I think it's good representation of our sports levels. Sports knowledge level.
Yeah.
It's just fun. I think it's a fun series that we'll continue to do. We did it again with Johnny Manziel and Tim Tebow.
That we did.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
Yeah, a lot of good episodes though. Let us know what some of your favorites are. Leave it in the comments.
Leave it in the
Insta comments.
What was your least favorite?
I don't think I have a least favorite, but I feel like our Mac McClung episode maybe was.
Oh yeah, that one doesn't have a lot of listens.
It doesn't, and maybe that's why I don't feel great about it.
Yeah.
I think it's a cool story.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
What about you? Do you have a least favorite?
I hate listening to the first one.
Yeah.
Because I just I was so nervous.
We were getting in the groove. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
We were shaking off.
That's the one I
jitters.
actually can't really listen to.
I can't listen to it.
I think I've listened to each one.
Yeah. Like several,
like
but I
a couple
can't
times,
go back
but I
to
haven't
the
listened to that one. Yeah.
Even the second one was that Bartolo Colon.
I like that one.
Yeah, I guess that one was definitely better.
Big sexy.
Yeah.
Totally.
Big sexy. So we've made a long journey to get here. We made our first $4.
Yeah, we did. We're in the green, baby.
Woo!
Yeah.
Mini fridge, here we come.
Mini fridge, we're $4 in the mini fridge. Maybe a microphone first, but yeah. Okay, so Katie's gonna put some info out on our merch.
Yeah.
On Insta.
Yeah,
right?
Go to the Insta.
Go to our Insta. Go to our website. Maybe we could put it there too.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know how, but
yeah, we'll figure it out.
It's gonna be out there. But if you can't find it and you want to find it, reach out, comment.
Reach out to me.
We'll find a way to recheck. I haven't really checked our YouTube actually in a minute.
Oh,
so people are commenting there. I'm just missing it.
Oh,
so I'll take a look today.
Yeah, take a look. Nice. Cool. Well, thanks for listening. Thanks for being here. We value you and your thoughts and your heart.
In your ears.
Yeah, thanks for listening.
We love your little ears.
So take your little ears and have a great rest of your day, your week, your life.
Cheers.
Over and out.